in the mid-14th century. Upon the ruins of the Mongol Empire, three hegemons ruled their domains in starkly different ways. In the west, the Dragon King Chen Youliang believed in pure force. His massive fleet was his mobile castle on the Yangtze in the east. The wealthy merchant Ziyang Shicheng had built a comfortable nest with his riches. But the lone wolf Zhu Yuanzhang, after capturing Jinling, demonstrated a different kind of wisdom. Instead of hastily replicating the Yuan bureaucracy, he imposed a pragmatic military administration, establishing efficient martial headquarters. He understood a brutal truth. In times of chaos, all laws and order must be built upon the bedrock of stable military force. Without it, any structure of rule is a fragile joke. He more profoundly embraced the nine-word mantra: build high walls, store up grain, and delay claiming kingship. This was rooted in ancient Eastern wisdom: the leading pheasant draws the fire. Moreover, it revealed a timeless law of survival. For the weak to ultimately triumph over the strong, they must master the art of forbearance, learn to accumulate strength in the shadows, identify the fatal weaknesses of their powerful adversaries, and skillfully diminish the hostility and perceived threat they pose to others, all while patiently biding their time for the perfect moment to strike. Under the crumbling tree of the Yuan Empire, countless rebels sprouted like mushrooms. The imperial army, though stretched thin, was still powerful enough to crush any challenger who dared to show its head first. Zhu, the cunning and patient wolf, was the ultimate embodiment of this law. He chose to lie low, letting other more flamboyant rebels draw the empire's fire, while he silently accumulated strength, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Now the Dragon King had sharpened his claws, and a war of annihilation was about to begin, and now Yuanzhang had already prepared the ground upon which it would be fought. Chen Youliang, commanding the most powerful river fleet ever seen, faced a critical choice. His advisors urged him to sail downriver and strike Zhu's undefended heart. But the Dragon King's arrogance overruled them. He scorned the idea that the beggar Zhu deserved such a sophisticated strategy. He wanted not just victory, but total submission to crush every shred of Zhu's hope. This embodied another ancient admonition: the hardest things are easiest to break. Excessive rigidity and confidence often pave the road to catastrophic failure. Thus he directed his invincible armada towards the fortified city of Hongdu. This decision, seemingly a lion pouncing on a rabbit, was in reality a dragon willingly entering a narrow cage prepared for him. Hongdu, a city not particularly grand, was about to witness an epic siege. Shen's army attacked in endless waves, and the defenders responded with boiling oil, massive stones, and flaming arrows. The walls were breached multiple times, but each time the defenders plugged the gaps with their own bodies, mixed with earth and timber. Food inside the city ran out swiftly. Soldiers boiled anything edible, even leather armor. Yet, surrender was never an option. As Chinese military philosophy states, throw your soldiers into positions from which there is no escape, and they will choose death over desertion. Place them in mortal peril, and they will then survive. The defenders of Hongdu, placed in precisely such a desperate situation, unleashed a cohesion and fighting spirit that transcended the fear of death itself. The young garrison commander, with a resolve beyond his years, became the city's soul, making everyone believe that holding on meant hope. For 85 days and nights, Hongdu was a red-hot nail driven deep into the Dragon King's flesh, making him roar, but unable to advance. When Zhu's fleet finally appeared on Lake Poyang, the Dragon King sneered. Next to his leviathans, the enemy ships looked like toys. But once battle commenced, the lone wolf's tactics wiped the smile from his face. Zhu's fleet refused a direct fight. They were a pack of agile wolves, constantly striking from the flanks and rear. biting and retreating. This was a masterful application of the stratagem. Moid the strong, attack the weak. Never engage the rival's main strength head-on, but always probe and strike at its vulgarities. Yet your force disparity nearly proved fatal. In one engagement, Zhu's flagship was identified and surrounded, bringing him to the brink of capture. Only his officer's desperate sacrifice saved him. This close call shattered any illusion of a conventional victory. He needed a storm, a perfect storm, to turn his weakness into strength. It was then that his chief strategist, Lu Bowen, the man said, to foresee heaven's will, whispered an ancient plan into his ear. Everything depended on the wind. The lake was stifling and still, making soldiers on both sides restless. Then, the long-awaited northeastern breeze finally arrived, and the flags on the ships shifted from hanging limply to flapping vigorously towards the southwest. Zhu knew he had won his gamble with heaven. This moment embodied the ancient philosophy. Do all that is humanly possible, and then await the decree of heaven. He had exhausted every human preparation. Ultimate success required that final, crucial touch of divine favor, and heaven's favor, in this moment, was his. His suicide crews, steering fast boats packed with gunpowder and combustibles, plunged relentlessly into the forest of steel, in a critical error seeking stability. Chen Youliang had chained many of his warships together. It became the perfect funeral rite for his fleet. The fire spread uncontrollably among the linked vessels. Soldiers leaped into the water amidst the flames. Great ships capsized like burning mountains. Sun Tzu's chapter on fire attack was executed here to its ultimate degree. But the deeper wisdom lay in guiding the situation to one's advantage, skillfully exploiting the rival's mistake and the power of nature to transform the enemy's own strength into their tomb. The Dragon King's empire turned to ash and floating corpses in a single night, and he himself met his destined end in this tragedy, woven from arrogance, rage, and fire. The fires of Lake Poyang incinerated an old era. Zhu Yuanzhang, the lone wolf, risen from the bottom, was now the undisputed hegemon of the Yangtze Basin. His success was the perfect confluence of heaven's timing, earth's advantage, and human unity. The timing was the collapse of the Yuan and that eastern wind. The advantage was the Yangtze and Lake Poyang. The unity was his superior wisdom and resilience over Chen Youliang. He possessed a powerful army, fertile lands, and a new mission: expel the Mongol barbarians, restore the Chinese nation. Yet, the campaign northward had to begin with securing the south. Behind him, a divided southern China still awaited a true unifier. Eliminating Zhang Shiqing's realm in the east, pacifying the warlords of Fujian, subduing the remaining Yuan loyalists in Lianghua, a storm of unification sweeping across the southern realm would become the final step for the lone wolf to ascend the throne. As the Tao Te Ching says, the softest things in the world overcome the hardest. Water, the softest, can pierce stone. The Tao, formless, can master all things. Zhu Yuanzhang, starting from ultimate softness, ultimately mastered the hardest. Standing at this turning point of destiny, his gaze swept over the soon-to-pacified south, finally fixing upon the northern skies. An ancient empire awaited its gravedigger, and a new sun called Great Ming, forged in the fires of a southern consolidation, was destined to erupt from the eastern horizon.